to beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right on the shores of Lake Michigan. It's time to turn up the heat on the college basketball season. Not that you need to when it comes to this rivalry between Depaul and Marquette, the 126th meeting between these Big East rivals. Speaking of the Big East, take a look at the updated conference standings. Keyword updated. Both Seton Hall and Villanova have already lost today. So the top two teams in the conference have already gone down on this first Saturday in February. Who knows? Maybe another upset brewing here in Milwaukee as Marquette gets set to take on Depaul. I'm Chris Fosters. This is the coach, Tim Miles. He of 399 collegiate wins. If you're Depaul, you started the season 12-1. Now you're 1-7 in Big East play. It's desperation time, right?
No doubt about it. If you're going to make a play, you've got 4 quad 1 wins. You need to go forward, and this is the time to start.
Well, it's not like Marquette can afford to lose this game by any means. Marcus Howard is a little banged up right now.
No doubt about it. We see the last game, he did not play the end of regulation because of this play right here. It doesn't look huge there, but if you look at this different angle, the blow he takes, wow. Sat out 21 straight minutes. Other guys stepped up. He's playing tonight. I'm curious to see how he'll play with the mask on, and he'll be ready to go. But, folks, this will be really interesting if he keeps the mask or takes it off, you know, and if the Batman works or if it doesn't work. You never know, but he took a shot, and he'll be ready to roll today.
Well, I know you were contemplating wearing a mask before this broadcast today, so maybe you'll put it on in the second half. We'll see. The look at the starting lineups now for Depaul and Marquette. The Golden Eagles have gotten some, especially recently, scoring support secondarily from Sakar Annam and Kobe McEwen to back up Marcus Howard. Depaul is led by Paul Reed, the conference leader in rebounds, and Charlie Moore, who's averaging 6.6 assists per game. The tip center between Paul Reed and Theo John of Marquette. The two number 4s, a bit of a swing and a miss, and the tip goes to Marquette. All right, Coach, here we go.
Those refs don't know how to throw the ball out. Sakar Annam has been terrific. 23 points a game the last 3 games. Kobe McEwen was lights out in overtime. At Xavier, big win.
A sellout crowd on hand here at Fiserv Forum, and the fans stand until Marquette makes its first basket. That one nearly went down from McEwen. Here comes Depaul.
I was here when they lost to Providence, and there was people developing arthritis standing so long. It was a tough, only home loss for Marquette this year.
Usually you don't have very long to wait, especially with Marcus Howard on the floor. Long three-point shot short for Charlie Moore, and back comes the other way, Marquette.
Well, if we go another possession without him shooting, they'll be chanting his name.
Annam stops and pops. John tries to poke it out for Marquette, but back and forth we go. Now it's DePaul ball again.
I think DePaul really feeds off a guy like Charlie Moore. He is the head of the monster.
John doing what he does best, blocking Jalen Butts, who put up a second try, and that was off the mark. Over a minute without a basket as the crowd waits in anticipation. Off-target shot from Marcus Howard.
Talking to Dave Lato before the game, you and I, Chris, I think he likes Romeo Weems and that length on Marcus Howard. That'll be interesting as we go forward. And Coach Lato with a second run here and a terrific preseason run, but now just haven't put a full game together to get over the top.
8 seasons total for Lato. He's been at DePaul since 2015 in his second stint. Originally was with the program from 2002 to 2005. Again, the sky looked to be the limit for DePaul through the non-conference portion of the season as Butts lays it in and draws the foul. But they have fallen on hard times. They've lost 7 of their first 8 Big East games. A turn I don't think many people saw coming. They can turn it around with this game, however.
Great window pass by Charlie Moore. He just drops the ball right in the little spot that he can. Jalen Butts scores. And what's ironic is I was at Steve Wojciechowski's practice, who does a tremendous job. They worked on that exact maneuver yesterday over and over for 12 minutes. And then today they don't get to the right spots first thing out.
It's interesting, Marquette got off to a sluggish start in conference play as well. 1-3 as Theo John flushes it down to tie the game, but Marquette looks good now.
Yeah, they've played better more recently, of course, and I think that win against, it'll be interesting, that win at Xavier without Marcus Howard should really buoy their confidence, too.
Yes. An overtime win at that, as Paul Reed goes to work in the post, but took too many steps. Steve Wojciechowski in his 6th season, trying to lead Marquette to an NCAA tournament win for the first time in his tenure. And we might as well bring this up now, Coach, with, of course, the Kobe Bryant tragedy on everyone's mind right now. An important connection between Wojciechowski and Kobe Bryant. They played, or were rather on the same U.S. Olympic team together. Wojciechowski is a coach and Kobe, of course, is a player.
Yeah, it's great connections, and that's, I think, being a part of Mike Krzyzewski, you get that. But interesting here as we get back to Depaul and Marquette. Coach Woj, I was in practice yesterday. Great defensive emphasis on stopping Charlie Moore, what they're going to do to Paul Reed. And, you know, what I was impressed with the offense is they just talked about how to systematically attack the defense of Depaul. It wasn't just about Marcus Howard getting shots. And Dave Lato said we were going to do this. We're going to get the ball out of his hands on screen and roll.
Charlie Moore drops it home.
And Charlie Moore does as good a job as anybody turning defense to offense. He is phenomenal in transition.
Only 3 minutes into this game, but the defense for DePaul, especially on Marcus Howard, has been very impressive. It leads to this steal.
Yeah, you got 3 defenders there. You got the sideline, and of course you've got the 2 guys on him, and that leads into a bad pass. Does that work?
Charlie Moore, the Big East leader in assists per game at 6.6. This is his 3rd Division I stop. He began his career at Cal, then transferred to Kansas. He is a Chicago native, and so loving playing in his home city again. And now an offensive foul called on Marquette's Kobe McEwen. That's his 2nd personal already.
Yeah, and you can see the look on his face of disbelief. And the last thing you want is 17 minutes into the game, here pick up your 2nd foul, and it'll be interesting when Steve Wojciechowski brings him back.
You mentioned how well McEwen has played as of late as well. Came up big in the overtime win over Xavier for Marquette on January 29th.
Well, Samir Torrance is he's an athletic guy. He's a powerful young guy. Should be in high school still, but reclassified to play with this team when they knew they were going to be shorthanded.
Paul Reed rattles that one down. Difficult angle.
I think we know why he's on the first round of some of these draft boards. He's really impressive with his length. And there's Marcus Howard, folks, introducing himself on a Hall of Fame Saturday here in Marquette.
Charlie Moore with the answer.
Little back at you.
Absolutely.
Little pull up there, Charlie.
Marcus Howard around Romeo Weems, the defensive matchup that Coach Miles is paying attention to. We've reached the under 16 timeout, and remember, when we return, we'll have a little bit more on Kobe Bryant, his life and legacy, when we return from Fiserv Forum.
It was his work ethic and the fact that he was always trying to gain a competitive edge. So it wasn't just the physical work, it was also the mental and emotional investment that he put into the game, he put into competition. Those things were separators, and it certainly separated him as a champion and a basketball player.
He was just the ultimate competitor. You know, he night in, night out, you know, no matter what the circumstance was, you know, he gave it his all. You know, there was always Mamba mentality, that's wrong with so many people over the years. You know, just his approach to the game, you know, his attention to detail was something that, you know, really made him special.
And you know what's fascinating is his impact even on our society. My daughter's a sophomore in college and never played varsity sports. Just didn't really take a, you know, it was hard enough being a coach's kid, but she says to me the other day, Dad, I wish I would have learned more about Kobe Bryant and learned more about the Mamba mentality. I think it could have helped me in life. And to me, that was just really interesting that Mamba mentality struck her in a way like I could learn so much from him. And I think that's how dynamic and interesting he was. And that's the impact he could have on people all over the place. But Too bad, tragic situation, but we got a heck of a ball game going on right in front of our eyes, Chris.
No doubt about that, and it's never too late to adopt the Mamba mentality, and certainly you don't have to be a basketball player, basketball coach to make it part of your lifestyle. But for a generation of players like Marcus Howard, Kobe Bryant, the player they grew up idolizing and trying to emulate on the court, Paul Reed, awkward release, but he drops it right down. Three-point shooting has been the key weakness for Depaul this year, but they get one from their leader in scoring and rebounds. Open for three. Jace Johnson battling for the rebound, and it eventually is poked out to Charlie Moore.
Jace Johnson's been all over the glass doing all the hustle plays for Marquette and really giving them a boost.
Transition three goes begging for Sakar Annam, and it's out of bounds on the Depaul bench. Well, we talked about this a little bit ago. The tie between Steve Wojciechowski and Kobe Bryant from their stint on the U.S. Olympic team. How about this photo? Again, with Mike Krzyzewski, the head coach. There's Wojciechowski at the bottom of your screen and Kobe Bryant just behind him.
Yeah, that's just, he sent that one to his kids, and they love seeing that. And what an impact and opportunity for Coach Woj to work with Team USA.
The Redeem team at the 2008 Olympics. In particular, such a rallying moment for Americans. Really one of the signature moments of Kobe Bryant's career in that gold medal game against Spain. Butts with a beautiful feed underneath to Darius Hall, who does the rest.
Yeah, Marquette decided they wanted to trap Reed and Butts because Butts is a highly efficient player. He makes shots inside, and that's where he does his damage. But nice pass. Finding the assist. But, they came and aggressively trapped him earlier, got the ball out of his hands, got a steal. Now they're just a little softer on that trap, and he's made them pay. Marcus Howard.
He does not need much breathing room to fire a shot off. That's a two-point look from Paul Reed, and Johnson snaps down the rebound for Marquette. Good start for DePaul, but Marquette's offense is turning to life, and Marcus Howard draws the foul. Well, before the game, there was a moment of silence here inside Fiserv Forum, again, in memory of Kobe Bryant. They put 24 seconds on the shot clock for that moment of silence, and then Marquette's team sporting the Mamba Forever warm-up jerseys on the bench as well, not just before the game today. So his presence is certainly felt.
No question. Watch a slip here on this play, see if anybody can get open. That was a new set that Marquette put in yesterday just for DePaul.
Annam is fouled.
Yeah, you see there the strength of his play right there. Hard jump stop, nice step through, moving a counter, getting to the foul line.
That foul goes on Jalen Coleman Lands. Big part of Marquette's story coming into this season. Could secondary scoring develop to help out Marcus Howard? And you're starting to see it now in the middle of Big East play, thanks to folks like Sakar Annam and Kobe McEwen.
No doubt, and especially Sakar Annam with 23.7 points a game over the last 3 games. That's a lot of points, especially when you've got Marcus Howard on the floor most of the time. And so to be able to get that kind of production is why they're winning.
Red hot right now, Sakar Annam, the redshirt senior from Minneapolis. Full court pressure here for Marquette.
They like to do that after their free throws.
DePaul coughs it up. Bailey to Kane in the corner. Good-looking three-point shot. Marquette gets another chance, however. That was Greg Elliott, beg your pardon.
Yeah, the NCAA has really done a good job of making it like the NBA. When you've got a ball handler out top, you've got to keep your hands off him. As soon as 2 hands go forward on that dribbler, it's an automatic foul. They've been very consistent with that. The refs have done a great job enforcing it.
That's what you want as much as anything, right? Not just the rule, but that it be consistently enforced.
Absolutely.
Annam curls to the elbow, throws one up to Greg Elliott, who's a high flyer, but he couldn't quite connect.
Yeah, coming off an ankle injury, still not full go, but he's working hard to get on the floor.
That's the freshman Weems, a brick. Elliott the rebound.
The art of the middle range jumper.
And the long range jumper for Marcus Howard. That one just a hair to the right. More inside. What a maneuver.
Yeah, Charlie early, the first 5 seconds of a shot clock, if you don't get him under control and show him chest, get in front of him with the ball handler, maybe have a guy that's trailing, get his defender in the way too. You need to put bodies on him.
Howard with the step back. Drano. He does it quietly, Coach. 12 points already for Marquette. They trail by 2.
You give him an inch, and he just makes you pay.
NCAA scoring leader Marcus Howard playing with a mask today after getting bonked on the nose in an overtime win against Xavier. That one rolls out to the Marquette bench, and we have a timeout on the floor. Marcus Howard warming up. Kobe McEwen and Marquette looking to keep the good times rolling in February, but they're down 2 to Depaul. Game first half. Depaul, despite a 1-7 Big East record, is giving Marquette a battle here inside Fiserv Forum in half number 1. It's already been a very interesting day in the Big East Conference. Xavier upsets number 10 Seton Hall. Seton Hall suffers its first loss of the season in conference play, and Creighton with another huge upset over number 8 Villanova. So it's been a wild Saturday afternoon in the Big East.
Yeah, Mahoney getting 21 for Creighton is a huge, because they've already got those 3 great guards, but what a valuable win for them. And Coach Wojciechowski with the timeout. I'm sure he wants to see better defensive pressure because 57% from the field so far for DePaul, playing great.
Well, again, Marquette enters this game 5-4 in the Big East, 5th place in the conference. We just told you the top 2 teams in the Big East have lost today. This is a chance to make up some ground if you're Marquette with a win over struggling DePaul.
Yeah, you know, as a coach, when you're sitting there and in your season, it's like you either have to win or you can't afford to lose.
Great offensive rebound by Jace Johnson, and I love that axiom. You either have to win or can't afford to lose.
And we can see the aggressor is DePaul. They feel a desperation of, we have to win this game. We have to make something happen. And they're just quick. And outside of Marcus Howard, this was the action where we saw switches and slips from the big guys. They're going to go get Marcus Howard, and if they switch out on him, they're going to get that little slip right there.
Jace Johnson all over Paul Reed, and he goes to the foul line.
Great finish. Nice pass, great finish.
That's the second foul on DePaul standout Paul Reed. Look at this jam.
You see the show by Butts, just gives him an angle. And again, that's a play the coach put in yesterday, special for DePaul, and paying off for him.
Johnson is just a 47% free throw shooter, but he bottoms that one to make it a 2-point game. Paul Reed to the bench with 7 points and 2 fouls.
Yeah, we've got Kobe McEwen with 2 fouls.
Yeah.
We've got Paul Reed with 2 fouls, and I'll be interested to see, how we handle that as half wears on here. There's still 8 minutes left.
Charlie Moore has got his mid-range jumper going. He's got 10 points in the first half out of Morgan Park High School in Chicago. Former Illinois Mr. Basketball Award winner, closing out his college career in his home city.
Yeah, 5 for 5 from 2, and there are all those little mid-range or transition plays.
What about the dancing bear, the 7-footer Jace Johnson, who has given Marquette an offensive spark off the bench?
Yeah, and without McEwen, that's exactly what they need. Great job of using the pivot right here to get the better angle, finishing with his left hand, delivers contact to Butts, so he's able to get his momentum going forward, and then uses his fundamentals to finish it off. The dancing bear. I like it.
And I tell you what, a guy you want on your team is there's a foul against Marquette's Jamal Cain in the battle for the rebound. You want Jace Johnson on your team when you go to the karaoke bar as well. They had him singing My Girl in a pre-recorded video.
He was terrific.
He was terrific.
Wow.
Had to look up who's singing in tune like that. Oh my, it's Jace Johnson. So a singing bear as well.
Singing, dancing,
That's
the
right.
whole thing.
He can do it all. Oscar Lopez Jr. pulls up over Marcus Howard. Good-looking shot off the rim and another rebound for Jace Johnson. Marcus Howard, all of his field goal attempts have been from long range today, and he is fouled.
Yeah, you can't foul him there. You got him on the right side of the floor. That's where you want to keep him. Romeo Weems, a freshman, long, athletic, team guy, always wanting to do more, wants to challenge of anything he can get his hands on. Coach Lader will tell you, I want the best matchup. I want anything Coach, let me guard it. Give me a chance.
Quite an assignment for a true freshman going up against the NCAA scoring leader, Marcus Howard.
A lot of guys would already be on the bench already.
Yeah.
Running somebody else at him.
Howard, in that overtime win against Xavier, became the 72nd college basketball player to amass over 2,500 career points. He's just adding to that total now, up to 17 in this game. And a tie game, as a matter of fact, 28-28. More in trouble.
Good job. That's the ball screen coverage that they wanted to do. Try and bottle up Charlie Moore.
He dishes off to Weems, who makes a heck of a cut and flushes it home.
Because if you don't bottle up Charlie Moore, we see what happens. It happened on the right side of the floor with Jalen Coleman lands, but on the left side, Charlie Moore gets the layup. Romeo Weems with the dunk.
Sakar Anum back in the game, and his first shot since heading to the locker room.
He might have a couple stitches or some glue up
tape,
there.
Yeah.
Oh, he fouled him.
In the act of a three-point shot.
You watch this great play by Charlie Moore, and he uses a nice crossover dribble. Look at this cross right here. He's waiting. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the foul. He's waiting for, and then there it is. Boom, he gets a little crossover, finds the cutter. Great play by both players.
Yeah.
But there you see Charlie Moore. He beats you on the crossover, gets you a dunk. Then he hangs out, and you're thinking, oh, he might drive me again. Pulls up, gets fouled on the three. So dangerous.
Having an excellent season and an excellent game today. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He's an 81% free throw shooter, and he makes the second of 3.
He is the head of the monster of DePaul basketball. Paul Reed is an NBA draft pick. There's no doubt. He can do so many things. But when you need more than one, obviously. And when you get a guy like Charlie Moore that's doing what he's doing right now, that's why DePaul is so dangerous, and that's why they were 12-1 in the preseason. And they're the same team. Like Coach Lato told them, we're the same team. We were 12-1, we're 1-7, we're the same guys. They've got 4 very good wins, but they need to build on it. Today would be a step down that road.
That's what makes this recent turn of events in conference play so perplexing for DePaul, as Marcus Howard got one halfway down and it changed its mind. Big-time non-conference wins for DePaul. They went 3-0 against the Big Ten this year. They beat Texas Tech, but have struggled to a 1-7 start in Big East play. And it's coming back to DePaul after a Marquette turnover.
Seventh one of the day for Marquette.
Yeah.
And that's a problem they do have, turning the ball over. But, of course, look at points off turnovers, 10-0. Great graphic there. And as we look forward to this game, what an exciting battle we have here. A sold-out crowd, Fiserv Forum.
Lots going on around this game for Marquette basketball. It's the induction of their 2020 Hall of Fame class, featuring a couple former standouts, Jay Crawford, Lazar Hayward. Here's Jalen Coleman lands for DePaul. And off the missed bank, Jace Johnson has it. It's also the 50th anniversary of Marquette's 1970 NIT championship team. And that's a foul on Depaul's Nick Ongenda.
Yeah, sometimes you get those backup bigs in, and they're trying to do what the starters have done, and the starters usually have more reps. They're more ready, and you come off the bench because of foul trouble, and you're just not quite there. I think our first DJ Williams is going to check in here. He's going to be our first view of him today. Immediately eligible at semester.
Yeah, just his third game. See number 32 flash across your screen. There he is.
Leading scorer at George Washington. Started, remember, competing against him when he was at Illinois. Rare miss there, huh?
He's an 86% free throw shooter, so yes, that is a rare miss. A couple of former Big Ten guys in this game, Coach. It's an Illinois transfer on DePaul's roster. Jalen Coleman-Lands, number 5.
DJ Williams.
And Coleman-Lands turns it over.
Yeah, they're doing a good job making Coleman-Lands a dribbler, not a shooter.
In the corner, Craig Elliott. Bailey with a huge rebound. Marcus Howard snaps one off. Short.
And that's worked on. They did a drill exactly like that, where you get the rebound, pivot, kick it out for the 3.
Lob down inside to Darius Hall, and a whistle. Foul on the floor.
Just the 6th. 7th. Chance for them to go to the line, get some DePaul, get some foul shots. Always like have a chance to get going a little bit from the foul, a layup or a free throw, whatever it might be to get you going. And of course, Devin Gage is not available for DePaul.
Good point.
And so
and won't be for a while.
No, I believe he's going to be out for the year. But so a guy like Darius Hall, again, we talked about Marquette's guys filling in the blanks and why they've won 4 or 5. And of course, in our pregame, talking to Coach Lato, and talk about Devin Gage, brings a lot to the table. One of the best defenders.
Hall goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line. He's got 3 points today. But even in the absence of Devin Gage, it's a DePaul team that has looked very good in the first half against Marquette. And of the 7 conference losses DePaul has suffered already this year, it's not like they've been blowouts. There have been a lot of close losses for DePaul, as there's a foul that gets us to a break. It was tied at 28, but now DePaul is on a 5-0 run.
50 years ago.
That's what he did at Illinois, and the folks at DePaul were so hopeful that he could become that player for the Blue Demons, and starting to see some signs as a senior that he's fulfilling that.
Yeah, every league is a little different. There's always a period of adjustment.
Here's the freshman Torrance, nearly stripped by Moore, gets the shot away with 1 on the clock, and it rattles home.
Nice play, good patience.
Final minutes of what's been a very fun first half from Fiserv Forum.
He checked for Jalen Coleman-Lands there.
Marcus Howard's always got a heat check on. He goes to the foul line. Well, coming up at halftime, we got Mike Hill, Steve Lavin, Casey Jacobson on Seton Hall's Miles Powell, plus highlights and analysis from our first half. And speaking of Miles Powell, there he is, along with Marcus Howard, among the Big East scoring leaders this year. And I know, Coach, you said off air that Miles Powell might be your pick for best player in the country.
Yeah, he does a lot of things. His team is winning at a high level. Now, today they got upset, but at the same time, he's making critical plays, winning plays. You know, down the stretch, he kind of takes over, beats DePaul just last game out. And when you've got a guy like that, Marcus Howard is prolific, and he's certainly in this conversation. But I just, maybe it's because I got a chance to have to play Seton Hall last year as a coach and know how tough he is to guard.
One thing that you can say about both Powell and Howard is that they have been so impactful, even when they haven't necessarily been 100% health-wise.
No doubt. Look at today.
Yeah. 5 to shoot for Coleman Lands. Boy, the two-point game is working for Jalen Coleman Lands. He is hot right now. 11 points for the Illinois transfer, who's playing in his 100th career collegiate game, and he's on a personal 6-point run for Depaul.
The entire team is 15 for 25 from 2.
Howard in trouble. And the horn sounds on the first half. Good defense by Depaul on that final possession. It's a 6-point lead for Depaul, trying to continue what's been an upset-laden day in the Big East. Our score at halftime, 40-34, DePaul over Marquette. On the other side of the break, we send it to the studio in Los Angeles. Welcome back to Milwaukee. There was some pomp and circumstance at halftime inside Fiserv Forum as Marquette inducted its 2020 Hall of Fame athletic class. Lazar Hayward, a 4-year standout from 2006 to 2010, and Jay Crowder, the 2012 Big East Player of the Year among the inductees. Crowder scored over 1,000 points in just 2 seasons at Marquette, remember, and Lazar Hayward third all-time on Marquette's scoring list. And alongside Coach Tim Miles, I'm Chris Foster's. Coach, you were 1-0 against Lazar Hayward at Marquette.
I wasn't going to bring that up to him, but if he watches the broadcast, he might see it. But yeah, it was one of those things that we were lucky enough to come in and win in Marquette, and a lot of fun. 2 great players.
That was in your North Dakota State days, right?
Yes. Our transition from Division 2 to 1.
That's right. No, we transition into the second half now, and Jalen Butts with a tough bucket.
Jalen Butts is a highly effective guy. He doesn't try and do anything he can't do. And, he's been one of those guys, I think, 3 times this year has been perfect from the field with over 5 attempts. And that's impressive.
He's 0 for 2 at the foul line today, however.
He struggles there, 48% on the year.
Yeah. Marcus Howard with 21 points in the first half. He will certainly be back here at Fiserv Forum at some point to join Lazar Hayward and Jay Crowder in the Marquette Athletics Hall of Fame class.
It'll be interesting to see who steps up here. And
maybe it'll be Brendan Bailey who steps up and throws down.
Well, Kobe McEwen, sat out for an hour of real time. You got those first 2 fouls right away, just 16:57 into the game, and then sat there. And it'll be interesting to see who can give Marcus Howard a little bit of a helping hand.
McEwen, number 25 in white, on the floor now after playing just about 3 minutes in the first half. Here's Charlie Moore, who had an excellent first half for DePaul. That was too high off the window, and then Butts couldn't quiet down the rebound. Here's McEwen, open lane, right hand, and 1.
Yeah, good way to get yourself back in the game. Get that layup. Now you get a chance to go to the free throw line, get a little rhythm. Excellent start here in the first minute. Just play by Bailey. There's just no help. Theo John does a good job of screening that out, and then in transition, I think giving that yell really helps get you a foul too. You got to give the help.
It's not the same if you don't tag it with that and 1, that primal yell.
Yeah. I like the primal yell better than the N1 because then you're not reffing, you're just asking for help.
He completes the 3-point play, his first points of the afternoon. Kobe McEwen, the Utah State transfer and Toronto native.
It's another offensive action that Marquette went through yesterday. Got a little break there. Sakar Annam grabbed Paul Reed, didn't let him roll. Crafty little move.
Dave Latone trying to find a way to turn DePaul's season around after a 12-1 start in the non-conference portion of the schedule. They are 1-7 in the Big East. Here's Jalen Coleman Lands, who had a brilliant first half, and Paul Reed comes in and stuffs it.
Reintroduces himself to Marquette, in case you forgot about me, guys. Sat out the last 7 minutes with foul trouble and had a relatively quiet first half.
All right, so we've seen some high-flying, dunking action early in the second half. Bailey can hit that corner shot, but Butts is there in the post. It's Theo John, number 4 on number 4. Comes back to the right, and he's blocked by Paul Reed.
Paul Reed doing Paul Reed things, blocking shots, rebounding. Here he is on the offensive glass. Hello. And then when you see him, here's a guy, Paul Reed, 38 steals, 60 blocks, 64 offensive rebounds, and then he scores at will. Does everything.
Bailey, corner pocket. It did look like he got it away in time.
Good action.
He hit the shot, but it was waved off. Ball clearly in his hand as the shot clock hit 0. Another good defensive stand for DePaul.
They needed that, too. They just scored. You'd had those 2 good plays early in the half by Marquette. A transition play by McEwen, of course, the highlight of that. They're not even guarding Jalen Butts. If they don't guard you, you got to be a screener out on top.
Moore with the whips. Here's the freshman Romeo Weems. Entry pass to Butts, who's double-teamed, 5 to shoot. Paul Reed might have thought he had a few seconds less than he actually did. If he had settled his feet, he could have gotten a shot away there.
Chris, you're exactly right, or he could have made a pass for a wide-open play to his teammate.
And then Reed is whistled for a foul. That's a big one, Coach, as it's number 3 on the DePaul standout, Paul Reed. Maybe that's why he went to DePaul, because his first name's Paul.
Could have been. Could have been. You never know. And here he's going to be subbed out. Dave Lato trying to make that tough decision. Talked about it with his staff. You know, you can't have him here at 16 minutes with 4 out there. Especially when you're playing with the lead. That's the hard part about coaching, is that we talk about it being an uneven process, and we're the only sport that has fouls, like, that penalizes you. You know, like, you can hold 13 times in a football game, and they don't eliminate you from the game. Now, you might eliminate yourself, you know, but they don't. The only thing is, like, a targeting or something really flagrant.
What about like a red card or a yellow card or something in
yeah, that's
soccer?
A good call, because I don't know soccer for crap. So, good job. So we're one of the few sports that penalizes you.
Well, I think,
isn't it?
Certainly not to the extent, you know, in soccer, the yellow card, red card it's a bit harsher than the 5-foul limit in basketball. So it is different. I think it's a valid point that you make. Just trying to look at it from all angles.
Sure.
After the takeaway, here's Sakar Anum.
Well, I know when I'm recruiting in high school, I just walk up to the refs and say, don't call a foul on number 9 or whoever it might be. I'm here to watch him.
Is that how you work the refs over?
Absolutely. Transition.
2-on-1 for DePaul. And Charlie Moore takes it himself.
You know, he knows Kobe McEwen doesn't want to pick up his 3rd early. Just attacks him.
Well, it was a 6-point lead for DePaul at halftime. And we're basically right there now, coming up on 4 minutes into the second half. Anum lets it fly. Short. Rebound up for grabs. Jalen Coleman lands, comes up with it. Look at DePaul run. Moore again with the dish and the flush by Jalen Butts. Now a 7-point lead for DePaul. Charlie Moore, the man at the controls for the DePaul Blue Demons. Still looking good in the second half on the road against Marquette.
Guys, listen up. When we run offense, good things are happening. You have to have shot clock awareness. Okay? And we gotta go. If it gets under 10, we gotta get out to our ball screens earlier. Listen up. The extra passes have been good. We got to keep defending and rebounding down on this end.
Coach, what I love about Coach Wojciechowski is he is constant and consistent with his message. You hear him say the same things in practice. I've had a couple of their games this year. It's been the same thing. Share the ball. Spread it out. Of course, he talked about the organization. We saw the bad shot at the end of his shot clock, and he talked about 2 things, about the alertness. You know, did we miss an alert? So you didn't know. And then the ball screen's got to be out there sooner. Very good stuff. And, you know, earlier in the game, I bet he wasn't as calm. I'll bet he was a little more passionate about that 57 degree, or 57% start for Depaul, and now I think he feels better. You know, it feels to me like these first 9 minutes, 8 minutes, the game is leveled out. And of course, you see that in the score too. Even though you're not ahead, you feel like, okay, you know, we're in striking distance. This is our home floor. We're going to be the best team here the last 12 minutes of the game.
Ice in his veins because he drinks a lot of ice water. Tries to have a gallon in by noon.
Does yoga. Wow. I mean, the man is ahead of most of us when it comes to personal fitness, health, welfare.
Very health conscious, definitely. Also, it's got to help when you have that blow up in the first half. You know, it's like releasing the carbonation out of the bottle, right?
It's a pressure reliever. Yeah, it just helps. And of course, Jalen Butts stepping up, making an important free throw here.
Less than a 50% shooter at the foul line. He makes the first, working on his 10th point if he can hit this. Short in the rebound to Theo John.
You know, Jace Johnson's got 3 fouls. Sakara Nim's got 3 fouls. Theo John, Brendan Bailey, Kobe McEwen have all fouled out at least 4 times this year. And that's a lot of foul outs. That's a lot of disqualifications.
It's going to be up to Marquette's bench to keep them in this game. That's a huge triple for Jamal Cain, the junior from just outside of Detroit. Nearly a takeaway for Marquette's Kobe McEwen. Every time Marquette has battled to tie the game, Depaul has had an answer. Lopez working on Howard. He saves it. Paul Reed back on the floor for Marquette. That one arcs over Theo John and rattles home.
Paul Reed doing Paul Reed things.
Said that before.
Yeah, 6'9", putting it on the floor, dropping a little teardrop off the glass.
Over one of the best shot blockers in the Big East, Theo John.
Nice find. That's that extra passing coach is talking about. That's a good look.
Marcus Howard still scoreless in the second half. There have not been many 10-minute scoring droughts in Marcus Howard's career. Coleman lands elbow.
Living in the mid-range over and over.
Now, I know golf is another sport that you follow closely, and the analogy that you said, it's like Depaul is breaking out the 3-iron?
Yeah, it's like hitting an iron or something off the tee box to put yourself in a comfortable position, you know, a favorable position. You put a driver in your hand. If you put a driver in my hand, it gets crazy.
Mid-range game has been working for Depaul today. Marcus Howard is looking to get it going in the second half. Look at that, 0 points.
And that's 10 minutes, 3 seconds. 0 for 2 in the second half is all. So really hasn't had a lot of opportunity either.
That's even perhaps more telling than the fact that he doesn't have any points, only 2 shots.
That may change.
You certainly expect it will. 8 to shoot. Cain, a bad pass, ill-advised.
Might have got away with the travel, too.
This is where the secondary scoring needs to step up for Marquette. Paul Reed was fouled. Wow, much to the chagrin of the Marquette fans inside a sold-out Fiserv Forum.
A lot of excellent officials wearing street clothes today. And I think what they're thinking is he traveled. But there's the hands. He did travel, just right there. But you can't have 2 hands on a player dribbling the ball. Little flex action.
That's a 2-point shot for Charlie Moore.
Charlie just keeping it, hitting that 3-iron.
Just hacking away. Depaul by 6. Who needs a driver? The 3-iron, the 2-point shots have been falling for Depaul all game long. Some Big East basketball for the first Saturday in February. Not a bad way to start off the month whatsoever. It's desperation time for Depaul and head coach Dave Leto. Mark Marquette's stars have been performing, Marcus Howard in particular. What would you expect? But the Blue Demons have been led by Romeo Weems, Paul Reed, Charlie Moore, and others, and they have Marquette on the ropes as we are about halfway through the second half.
Just a heck of a ball game today. This is the ball team that we asked at the beginning of the broadcast, are they going to come out and play with that desperation and that we have to make something happen, and that's what we've seen. Like we said in the non-conference schedule, they just had a rhythm, and they felt like they were maybe 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and then you lose some of that swagger and that confidence. But today they're on the attack. Their game against Seton Hall was a step in the right direction, even though it didn't come out for a victory. It'll be interesting to see how this comes down the stretch.
We said this somewhat ironically at the start of the game as well, but if Marcus Howard hit a rut in this game as Kobe McEwen is fouled, would he keep his mask on? And despite not scoring any points in the second half, he still has the protective mask on.
And who would step up? Kobe McEwen, Jamal Cain. Who is going to step up for him? You know, is it Brendan Bailey, Sakar and M? And it's been Bailey and an M. But today, a little quieter.
McEwen nets his 6th point of the game. He's Marquette's 3rd leading scorer this season, coming off an 18-point performance against Xavier. Really took that game over in many ways for Marquette with Marcus Howard out of the game. Went on an 8-0 run himself late in the second half to force overtime. And someone needs to step up offensively for Marquette here in the second half, down by 5. Into Jalen Butts. Tough play, and Butts makes it work.
Just making layups. That's all he's doing. Over and over and over.
11 points for the product out of Northside High School in Fort Wayne.
Kobe McEwen, there's Sakar and M. But Kobe McEwen also hit a 3 to put it in overtime against Butler on the road. He's made big plays late in the game. And that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to force the issue. You can see that go.
Getting himself to the foul line where he is an excellent free throw shooter. Again, the Big East standings. We'll say it again. Seton Hall and Villanova have lost today. Marquette entered the day in 5th place in the Big East. And DePaul in the basement right now. But if they get hot in February, you know, you're certainly not playing for a Big East championship at this point necessarily, but an NCAA tournament is still very much on the table.
Certainly, their net is 59, which is not a remarkable number, but it's certainly not out of play.
Bubble team, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And they've got 7 quad 1 games left, which are your highest level games against your best opponents. So that's either opportunity or misery, one of the two, depending on how the outcome goes. Nursing this 5-point lead. Like you said earlier, Chris, they've had answers all night.
More around Bailey. Paul Reed fighting for it. He did it with one hand, and then he's fouled. How many times has Coach Tim Miles said this? Paul Reed doing Paul Reed things. And it's driving Steve Wojciechowski and Chase Johnson crazy.
Talking about how he wants to attack things, and like he said, keep the ball moving, keep guys moving. Late in the game, teams get tired. Late in the game, guys start to stand around a little more. You get stagnant, and that's where active hands can hurt you. But Paul Reed doing what he's doing should be great down the stretch.
If he can stay out of foul trouble, he's got 3. One of 3 DePaul Blue Demons with 3 fouls right now. Sakar Adam is in the biggest world of hurt right now as far as fouls are concerned for Marquette. You see him rubbing his eyebrow. He was bleeding after a collision in the first half. Kobe McEwen soared in for the rebound off the miss. And then it's a foul against Romeo Weems. So that is the freshman's fourth for Depaul.
Yeah, you can live with that mistake, and I think Darius Hall still comes in and provides enough defensive length on Marcus Howard that you don't drop off that much. But as Coach Lado, you want him aggressive. A little pressure here. Oh, they're just messing around.
Trying to get in their head.
It's just good to get them stopped. Now you're not initiating offense until there's 20 on the shot clock.
That was a tipped pass that sailed over Jace Johnson. It stays with Marquette.
A little European flavor there. That's a play called Spain where Marcus Howard back screens the ball screener and then he can pop, or you got that guy wide open and just a tip ball didn't allow Jace Johnson to catch it wide open. Good action.
Marcus Howard, scoreless in the second half. Blocked by Paul Reed.
Yeah, I wish Marcus Howard had a little more creativity there. Maybe jumps off, play off 2 feet.
Paul Reed with the left hand, short-armed it, and the rebound down to McEwen of Marquette.
That was a good action, though. He walked out of the ball screen. Charlie Moore finds him.
Jace Johnson underneath. Blocked.
That's our goaltend. Yes, sir. That was terrific. You see the way that ball moved in such a short amount of time. It went right, left, right, inside and out. Phenomenal. Here they are right here. Jace Johnson using his creativity, pivot, step through, and then the ball pinned on the backboard means the goaltend. He had like Kevin McHale, Jack Sikma. He pulled the ball to the big guys.
11 points for Jace Johnson today, and it's a 3-point game. Jalen Butts with the weak side dish from Darius Hall. He knows what to do with that.
It's the other guys stepping up for one team, right? Nice job right there. Nice pass by Jalen Butts. Or nice finish by Jalen Butts.
Yes, he was the MVP, Butts that is, of the Depaul Northwestern game. 24 points, 8 rebounds. And he's having a great show today. 13 points, and there's Marcus Howard.
Doing Marcus Howard things.
Yes. His first points of the second half, 23 for the afternoon.
Who's going to get stops down the last 6 minutes?
Well, before the alley-oop, there's a foul on the floor.
So they post up Darius Hall, and he gets a double team, and Butts is in the right place at the right time. And watch this. Spin, pull up during the spin, make the basket. Oh, man. If I lived in Milwaukee, I would be buying tickets to come to every game to watch this young man play because he's spectacular.
Sellout crowd inside Fiserv Forum to watch Marcus Howard and the Golden Eagles play this afternoon.
You feel like things are going well. Paul here, 6 of their last 8 from the field, and they're still not able to pull away.
Foul on Kobe McEwen of Marquette. His 3rd foul. Depaul has struggled at the free throw line today. Charlie Moore is there now. Much needed.
Yeah, just 8 for 16 now at the foul line. A lot of times that's who you send there. You know, Jalen Butts goes there 8 times. It's going to be you're going to have a low percentage, but you got to be able to convert.
Moore is an 81% free throw shooter this season. Keeps DePaul right at that 5-point lead. Feels like it's been that margin of lead for DePaul for much of this game.
And that's after a free throw, a Marquette special play where they pass, they inside cut. Big development in the game with Paul Reed picking up his 4th.
Huge.
Both teams are in the bonus, so any foul will be shooting at the foul. Well, not any foul, but any foul on the offensive end will be shooting at the free throw line. And if you're Marquette, I think you're feeling okay about that.
Feeling good with McEwen at the free throw line as well, where he lives at an 84% clip. And he was brilliant from the free throw line in that overtime win against Xavier on the 29th. He was 9 for 11 from the stripe. He's on autopilot right now.
Well, we look at the only undefeated team in the country is San Diego State in the Mountain West. The Mountain West has got excellent teams. He was a first-team all-conference player as a freshman. Pretty impressive. First spot of zone we've seen out of Marquette. Steve Wojciechowski, 2-3 zone.
After the pump, the pass up top to Reed. Butts offensive rebound, stick back turned away, but a foul.
Well, you got the shot you wanted. You got to get the rebound. Reed has not shot the three well. And anytime you get that offensive rebound, you know, you're vulnerable. Jace Johnson showing us right there just how it works.
4 fouls for Jace Johnson, who otherwise has enjoyed a Marquette career day. His first season with Marquette, he's got 11 points, the most in his Marquette career, but he takes a seat now following a missed free throw by Jalen Butts. Theo John back on the floor, the block specialist.
The crowd starts getting louder and louder, trying to put a little pressure on Jalen Butts. And then they groan. I love it. I love it. Oh!
Well, there is an incentive for the student section if they miss an opponent that misses 2 free throws in a row. Is it free ice cream or something to that effect? Oh, a Shake Shack with under 10 minutes left. So that was very much at play there.
I'm in.
Yes, exactly. Theo John couldn't quite convince that one to drop through.
But Theo's got to finish that shot. You know, for a guy with his size and athleticism, he's only a 47% shooter from the field. And when you consider the proximity that you are, the distance you are, you know, you want that guy being about 6, 7, 8% higher than that. But he is a physical specimen. Great kid, too. I had a chance to get to know him through the recruiting process over the years. I've said this numerous times. McKinley Wright was his point guard, who's a star player at Colorado.
This was at Champlain Park in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Near Minneapolis, we should clarify.
It's kind of, the Twin Cities.
Yeah. Jamal Cain on the floor for Symir Torrance of Marquette.
Both big guys have struggled. Jalen Butts has struggled at the foul line. Theo's not a great foul shooter, only at 58%.
He splits the pair. 3 points this afternoon for Theo John, the junior.
So if the home team misses 2 in a row, do you have to give back the Shake Shack?
I think there would be a riot if that were the case.
2-3 zone.
Charlie Moore can't shoot out of it. Cain the rebound.
And really, Marquette's got what they want out of the zone. Just an outside shot. No pressure on your foul trouble. No pressure on the rim. If they can rebound out of it, I'd say they'll stay with it.
Beautiful pass to Theo John. From the double team, he is fouled.
Yeah, earlier in that possession, you saw Kobe McEwen setting a ball screen for Marcus Howard. They're trying to get the bigger defender off him. Now another foul.
That one's on Jalen Coleman, lands his 4th. There's still a lot of time left in this game.
Yeah.
I think some players on both teams better start shedding their warm-ups because
And if you're on the bench,
all the players in foul trouble right now.
And if you're on the bench, you better be ready.
Yes.
You better be thinking like, I'm going to go in there and help. Good hit there. I always love it when these huge gyms with all these thousands of people get just quiet when the home team's shooting foul shots.
Now they ramp up the noise. 1 point lead for Depaul.
You see the bench and the fans on their feet. Huge possession here for Depaul. Got to attack the 2-3 zone. I'd like to see him put the ball right in the high post. You see guys flashing in there. Charlie Moore's in there now. Hit him.
Paul Reed, runner. Butts saved it, but it was off the backboard, and it comes to Marquette.
Credit Coach Wojciechowski switching the zone. Just, again, we talked about the Demons. Are they going to be desperate to win? And now you start attacking zone, you just do it a little differently. They're not in transition. They're not on the attack. They're not the aggressor.
McEwen is fouled.
Tough
By
foul.
Charlie Moore, absolutely, with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Down to the wire inside 5 serve for him. Marquette nearly there, but still down 1. Our game reset with Depaul clinging to a 1-point lead. They have one more timeout than Marquette as well, but both teams are in the bonus, the double bonus, as a matter of fact. And the possession arrow right now favors Marquette. Home court favors Marquette as well. Foul trouble, it's something both teams are dealing with right now. Romeo Weems, Paul Reed, Jalen Coleman lands, each with 4 fouls. And for Marquette, Sakar Annam and Jace Johnson are 1 away from fouling out. And all 5 of those players are certainly more than just role players. They're key pieces to both teams' fortunes, especially in a close game late in the second half.
Yeah, as a coach, what you're doing is you're asking your staff or talking to your guys about, all right, when this guy fouls out, you know, what's our lineup look like? When this guy, because it's inevitably, we're going to have a couple key players foul out here down the stretch, especially if it goes overtime, but you're talking to your staff about, are we going to play big? Are we going to play small? What can we do? If you're Depaul, you're saying, what do we do to attack this zone? Curious to see what they do coming out of the timeout. Wojo stays with the zone. What's Depaul going to do to attack it? There's that high post play we're looking for. It results in 2 points. You've got to put it there. I don't mind them ball screening the guards. You can punish those guards up on top too, but you got to use the ball screen. But that's where they've got to put the ball, right at the high post.
13 points, 6 rebounds for Paul Reed today, the Big East leader in double-doubles. Bricked three-pointer by McEwen. Depaul just refuses to give up the lead. Marquette has tied it numerous times in the second half.
And Marquette doesn't have a field goal for 3 minutes. They've had some foul shots.
An old school game. There have been long scoring droughts. The three-pointer has been secondary in the second half for both teams.
Coleman Lands had
Darius Hall.
You've got to throw that thing in right from the point, right to the nail where he was standing. It's just a vertical pass, and it's every attack option's open. My coaching hat's making me crazy here.
Can you hang in there for 2.5 more minutes?
I can. If the big boys would show their hands in that foul. 2 really careless fouls on, one by Butts and early by Charlie Moore, right with about 4 minutes left. And Butts is out here hedging the screen, but he just gets an arm down to foul.
Now he's got 4 fouls. Marcus Howard can tie us up once again with another made free throw. It would give him 25 points on the day, 21 in the first half. Hall takes a seat for Depaul. Still a 1-point lead for Depaul.
Man to man. Put your best 2 players in ball screen right here. Paul Reed, Charlie Moore.
Moore off the window.
Wow. Great finish by Charlie Moore. Shot blocker can't get there. High off the glass. Depaul just fighting to stay on top. Romeo Weems back in the game guarding.
Marcus Howard fights his way through. He was tripped, however, and that's a foul.
Charlie Moore, this play, folks, it's man-to-man. He gets his head and shoulder by, then jumps right-footed, right-handed, off the corner of the glass. Watch this. This is a great finish. That's an NBA-style finish. Well done, Charlie Moore. Here's our first foul out.
Well, correction, I thought you were right, Coach. It looked like Romeo Weems just picked up his 5th foul. Instead, it's foul number 4 on Charlie Moore. So Weems is still in the game with 4 fouls. And now Moore has got 4. Marcus Howard at the free throw line.
Boy, those are a tough couple of late ones by Charlie Moore. Marquette's at 4.5 minutes, just no field goals, but being at the foul line. Probably why they're not ahead, but at the same time, you have to credit, they're going to tie this game up with just less than 2 minutes. It's going to be a thrilling finish. These two teams have been fighting it out all day. Depaul's been hanging on. And here come the hometown fans. Back to zone.
Rebound Marquette.
Chance to take the lead.
Marquette's last 10 points have come at the free throw line. For the lead.
Left hand step back. That's what he does best.
Timeout DePaul. It is Marquette's first lead since the score was 21-20 with about 10 minutes left in the first half. DePaul has led by as many as 8, and now it's Marquette by 2.
Yeah, once he's going left, he's able, for a right-handed shooter, you're able to handle it in your left and just get it off a little quicker, and that's impossible to stop unless you're long, and he doesn't have the long guy on him. He's got Charlie Moore on him. They've been able to stop him with Darius Hall and Romeo Weems. But really it comes down to DePaul has not scored against the zone. I think they've got 1 score at the free throw line by Paul Reed, and that's it.
That was the key change that Steve Wojciechowski made defensively for Marquette. Look at all the number 4s on this graphic. Foul trouble abounds for both teams, especially DePaul.
Well, you have to credit the officials. If you're going to be a high-volume call, or at least just spread it out amongst the masses. Just don't pick on anybody.
That's right. Not that ever happened to you or your teams.
I would be bursting an artery in my head usually by now. I don't know if you have them in your head either. Wouldn't go well.
Well, a vein, certainly.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
Got to end up in the high post. Good.
But
not so good.
Butterfingers. Marquette ball.
Yeah. Ball screen the guards, move the ball, get one of your bigs, but Paul Reed is your guy in that high post. Jalen Butt's not a creative type of player, but huge play defensively for DePaul. Standing on top of Marcus Howard already. We can see Romeo Weems.
Suddenly there's a minute to go in the game. Marcus Howard around the 6'9" Romeo Weems. Howard, the senior, Weems, the freshman. DePaul has lost 7 of 8 in Big East play. Howard. Johnson saves it. The shot clock reset, but I don't think that shot hit the rim. There was a foul either way, so it's a moot point.
And you don't need to foul. Kind of goes both ways there. So good job by Marquette coming up the ball screen with McEwen to get the smaller defender on him. Jace Johnson has got his man pinned and is ready to go. It didn't hit the rim. The other angle here, I just don't see it hitting the rim.
Definitely not from that angle.
So now you'll need to know time, score. What I would imagine the ball will come.
It looked like as I recall, the shot clock was at 3 seconds when it was incorrectly reset.
Yeah, so it should yeah.
Something to untangle here, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
One of those things I don't think anybody's really happy with. There's no way it hits the rim. There's no way this justifies a reset, I don't think. I mean, if you stop it right there, it's 42 seconds left in the game or whatever. Shot clock's at 6, ball underneath or on the side to Marquette.
Brent Hampton, Bill Covington Jr., Tim Clougherty are our officials this afternoon trying to remedy this situation. That shot by Marcus Howard does not appear to hit the rim.
Yeah, that's 5 and 40 right on the dot, it looks like. 5 seconds on the shot, 40 in the game clock.
Then you saw the shot clock at 3 when it was reset to 30. We don't think that should have happened. There was also a foul called in the midst of all that. Will that foul stand? Was there a shot clock violation before that? Well, lots to figure out here.
Yeah, I think this is where, as an official, you know, they're going to stick to the letter of the law. And it's in there. They know what the rule book says. And what the rule book's going to say is that because this is reviewable, that they need to go back at the point in time when the ball was in possession, I think, of the defensive team, clearly. And I would imagine that's going to be, looks like they're looking at 2 seconds on the shot clock. And probably underneath, no foul on the play.
We've got an explanation coming our way. Coach Miles is getting the official word. All right, what did you learn?
The ball's going to be on the sideline, 2 seconds on the shot clock. It never hit the rim, clear possession. They didn't give it to Jace Johnson there. On the pass out is when they recognized it, and so that's where it went. So those extra 2 seconds from Jace securing the ball under the basket on the side. So Coach Wojciechowski, if he's drawing up an underneath out-of-bounds play, he's got to take time out because now it's on the side. I think that's exactly what happened there, I would guess. So here we go, trying to figure it all out again. Foul ball, up 2.
And it goes without saying, don't foul if you're Depaul with just 2 seconds on the shot clock. Marcus Howard, remember, has been wearing a mask all day because of an injury he sustained in the win against Xavier on January 29th. He dropped 21 points in the first half, and then after a bit of a lull in the second half, he's up to 29 for the game.
Yeah, and in the biggest bucket of the night so far, the go-ahead bucket to take him to 29. How about a quiet second half and you only get 8?
Right.
You know, something like that. Some guy's career 8 points.
Yes. Again, the possession arrow points to Marquette in the event of a tie-up. Marquette down to just 1 timeout with 37 seconds left to play, 37.1 to be precise.
This could really be a gutting loss for DePaul. I mean, as much as they put into it and control the game, you know, they've had the lead almost all night. And to not be able to finish them off is something that they've been trying to figure out how to. And you have to credit Marquette, their ability when they weren't making shots to step up, find ways to get fouled, and go and make foul shots. And, of course, going 2-3 zone to slow down DePaul.
You can dive deep into the psychology of this, but if you're DePaul, you've lost 7 of 8 to begin conference play. Is there a part of you that's saying, here we go again?
Yeah, definitely. Be interesting if they foul or who they foul if they foul.
It's Howard. And the rebound to Paul Reed of DePaul. And timeout taken by Dave Leto and the Blue Demons.
Here we go, folks.
I think the obvious question, right, do you drop a 2-point or a 3-point play here?
Best available shot. best available shot. And I think as you look at this, you've got to go to your playmaker, though. The guy that's got to have the ball is Charlie Moore or Paul Reed.
Well, Charlie Moore has had an outstanding afternoon. As he goes, Depaul goes. You said that at the top of the broadcast, and he's given Depaul a consistent spark throughout this game.
Yeah, Charlie Moore is the head of the monster for these guys, and that finish right there is among the best of them. And he does a little bit of everything tonight. He has assists, he scores the ball, you name it. And as you look at his line tonight, he's done it all. 8 assists, 20 points, and he's got to be a guy that initiates offense, and he's either going to draw a whole bunch of bodies, like 2 or 3 that we've seen him, that are looking at him tonight, or find a way to get the foul line, and there's plenty of opportunity there with all the foul trouble.
It's amazing that no one has fouled out of this game because we've been keeping an eye on the foul trouble for both teams for what feels like a significant portion of the second half. And with a 2-point game, even though there are under 30 seconds left, it's still a situation where if any one of these players fouls out, it would be a big deal.
Yeah, especially that guy. Or Paul Reed. But Devin Gage not here with hand surgery, so you're shorthanded either way. So any foul trouble is going to hurt DePaul.
It's DePaul basketball out of the timeout.
I think we're going to see Coach Wojo stay in his 2-3 zone.
It's worked. And see what Dave Leto has drawn up in the huddle. 126th meeting between DePaul and Marquette.
Oh, their man. Good job showing zone, then matching up.
Charlie Moore with a burst. He saves his own miss, but cannot tie the game. Reed is fighting for it. Weems puts it up, but there's a foul.
Boy, Chris, what a melee in there.
Jace Johnson has just fouled out of this game.
Charlie Moore getting downhill. After that, Chris, you can figure it out for us.
That's the second look, the third try. And then Johnson, in the midst of all that, called for a foul. He said, you could read his lips off the floor, both players were going for the ball. The 11 points, a season high for Jace Johnson. Remember, this is his first year in Marquette uniform. He transferred in from Utah. So Paul Reed is at the free throw line now. He is an 80% free throw shooter this season. He gets 2 because, remember, both teams are in the double bonus.
Well, either miss it on purpose and try and get an offensive rebound, or make it, press, and foul.
What would you do?
There's still 10. I'd make it and try and trap or press quick, see if you get a quick turnover and then foul somebody. And I'd try not to let Marcus Howard touch it.
Both teams have 1 timeout remaining. One-point game, Marquette ball. And a whistle.
And you see Charlie Moore didn't want to foul there. Nobody did because they had...
Everybody's playing with 4 fouls. It's Paul Reed who picks up his 5th. And he is done. One thing that Coach Leto said, even with all of these excruciating losses for DePaul, the want to is there, the drive is there, the resiliency is there. You see it etched on Paul Reed's face right now, how badly he wants to win this game. No one's thrown in the towel for DePaul.
It just feels like tonight, those defensive errors, 23 fouls. That was the first time they fouled on purpose. There's just too many foul shots when they were playing good defense.
Marcus Howard at the free throw line where he is 8 of 9 today with 8.9 seconds left in the second half. He's got 30 points. And Depaul burns its final timeout. Remember, Paul Reed whistled for his 5th foul a moment ago. He is out. And still 4 other players for DePaul playing with 4 fouls. Jace Johnson has also fouled out for Marquette. Sakar Annam, it feels like he's been playing with 4 fouls for a while. There is Paul Reed. He can only watch for the final 8.9 seconds. DePaul led at halftime. They led for a significant portion of the second half before Marquette finally took the lead. And it's not over yet. One more free throw coming up for Marcus Howard. So have you drawn up 2 scenarios in the huddle there if you're Dave Leto, one for a made free throw and one for a miss?
No, I've probably drawn up 1 scenario and 1 against man and 1 against a maybe full court press or a 2-3 zone or whatever it might be. And then we have to get a 3. We have, in my book, because now we're getting shorthanded. We've got all this foul trouble. And now they need the 3 anyway.
DePaul is not a good 3-point shooting team, and a very savvy move by Kobe McEwen to foul Charlie Moore in a 3-point game.
Yeah, Coach practiced this yesterday. They practiced fouling because it didn't go well at the end of the Butler game when they fouled. So excellent job by Kobe McEwen taking that foul, not letting Charlie Moore get the 3. Now, this is a situation where you have to think maybe we make one, miss the next one on purpose. And there you can see DePaul got to make one. You could still miss on purpose. Well, now you have to miss on purpose.
DePaul has shot just 50% at the free throw line in this game, 11 of 22. Here comes some length off the bench for DePaul.
Yeah, you're going to try and tip it out. If you're Coach Wojciechowski, you're going to want to match with one of those guys. Romeo Weems standing alone. If there's a tip out. Oh.
He makes it, interestingly enough.
I didn't expect that. But quick foul or a turnover.
Now, it looked like Charlie Moore was the first to foul McEwen. Remember, Moore's got 4 fouls, but
DePaul foul 11, Charlie Moore.
They do call it on Moore, so Moore is done now with his 5th foul.
Now you could be down by 4. Effectively, the game, if they make their foul shots, you're done.
So they have actually changed that foul call. It does go against Nick Ongenda of DePaul, so Moore stays in the game. That's Ongenda, who picked up his 2nd foul of the game. And Kobe McEwen, remember, a very good free throw shooter. 9 for 11 today. And now 10 for 12.
Yeah, a chance to ice the game virtually right here. Yeah, foul shooting has been the difference. DePaul not being able to make them, and Marquette now icing the game with important foul shots.
Moore lets it fly. It doesn't matter. Marquette down for the bulk of this game. Pulls ahead in the closing minutes and wins 76-72. Marquette now improves to 6-4 in the Big East. What a fun game. What a great Saturday of college basketball. 76-72 Marquette, our final score. For my partner Tim Miles and our entire crew, I'm Chris Fosters. Enjoy your Saturday and so long.